Today in UnderRadar, we travel back in time to the days of honor, glory, and discipline, following the Way of the Samurai. Way of the Samurai 3 and 4 are semi-open world games made by Acquire and published by Spike for the PlayStation 3, with 3 coming out on October 13th, 2009, and 4 coming out on August 21st, 2012. Surprisingly, they both got ported to the PC platform by Ghostlight, with 4 coming out first on July 23rd, 2015, and 3 coming out later on March 23rd, 2016. These games are like a samurai simulator, and in the best of ways, they are also great games where your choices actually matter and make an impact in your playthroughs. So join me as we travel back in time to feudal Japan and heed the call of the battle cry. Let's take a look at the story for Way of the Samurai 3.
The powers of old have lost and lie dead. A simple servant has risen to become a general. War breeds war, fields are rampaged, and hearts are in confusion. The world is at war, with no end in sight, and notorious warlords battle to rule the world, including Owaru's Nobunaga Oda. Here in Amana, the honor of the former Sakurai clan is now but a dream, and Shuzen Fujimori, a mastermind of chaos who came to power by supplanting his lord, vies to become its ruler. Shuzen's sole desire is for a stronger, more powerful Amana. However, in his drive to accomplish his goals, the people of Amana struggle to survive. For in Amana, war is incessant. In fact, one battle has just ended. But the only souls to cast off the woes of war are those that lie dead, heaped on the ground. To those that wander the battlefield, is hell our world or the one beyond? No one knows for sure.
The story for Way of the Samurai 4 takes place in a fictional port town called Amihama during the final days of the shogunate. The British Navy has come to this town to negotiate a peace treaty with the local government until the xenophonic Prajna attacked the meeting point in order to disrupt the treaty. The Tokugawa shogunate, in response, sent one of their high-ranking officials, Chief Magistrate Hikaru Kotobuki, to end the conflict. The Way of the Samurai series is really special in that it's one of the few games in which your choices actually matter and make an impact on the story. In both games, you'll deal with many factions and colorful characters that will shape the way your tale should continue, or end should you cross the wrong person. The series is also special for its multiple endings for each game. Each game is really short, being able to complete them in about half an hour or even less, but it makes up for it with its endings that really add some replayability to the series. The graphics in the Way of the Samurai series have always been the lowest point of the series for me, but that doesn't mean I dislike it. Just that out of all the great things the series has to offer, the graphics aren't the best of it. With that said, I actually like the graphics, and I believe that graphics don't make the game, especially in this case. The graphics feel like they've been taken from the PlayStation 2 era, but this isn't really a big deal as the lands look great and so do the characters. You do run into a ton of copy-paste NPCs, but since this game focuses primarily on the story and the important story-related characters, this isn't such an issue. Speaking of characters and lands though, the designs in this game are really fantastic and help immerse me in the world I'm inhabiting. Everything from the towns, to the dojo, to the castle just really look beautiful and calming in my eyes, and the story characters really do look unique and really appealing to me. I also love the weapon designs in this game, as you do run into some very unique spears and swords, as well as some very nice joke weapons like brooms, green onion stalks, and even a mere stick can be used as a weapon as well. There is also a neat feature with the Way of the Samurai series, which is its character customization. It's not as in-depth as other creators, but the accessories are such a fun way to be creative with your character. You can position them, angle them, and even change their sizes, which can sometimes lead to some funny times in the game. The graphics may not be the highest mark this series has to offer, especially considering both games have virtually no differences nor improvements, but fans will tell you how little the graphics matter when you get into the meat of the game, which we'll get into soon. The audio in this series is superb. The music and sounds the series offer give me the authentic experience of feudal Japan. The Biwa minstrel from Way of the Samurai 3 is also one of my favorite things about the game, as he saves your game via a nice little tune he plays in his instrument before letting you go on your way. The voice acting in these games are also pretty good too. Way of the Samurai 3 boasts both English and Japanese voices, while Way of the Samurai 4 sticks to its roots with Japanese-only voices. I also feel like this is worth mentioning, but Way of the Samurai 4 has an incredible mod on the PC version where you can replace the entire music of the game with tracks from one of the best anime ever to grace our eyes and ears, Samurai Champloo. So if you're a samurai that heeds the call of the battle cry, then that is indeed something you should check out. This game series is well known by the few people that play it for its style of gameplay, and that it's one of the few games where your choices actually matter. In Way of the Samurai, there are many points in the game's cutscenes and during gameplay where you are presented with dialogue choices that have an effect on your story. More importantly, you also have the ability to draw your sword as well, which can drastically change your path in this game, and in some cases, your life.
You don't realize your leader is thinking about these kinds of things. You know nothing.
How does drawing your sword make a drastic change, you ask? Well, in Way of the Samurai 3, you can actually kill key story characters, which can change how the rest of the story plays out for you in the end. Unfortunately, Way of the Samurai 4 has taken a more pacifist route in terms of not allowing you to kill key story characters, who will instead flee the scene in a mini cutscene before leaving you to the other enemies you've angered. Speaking of combat, the combat in this series is actually pretty tactical and action-packed. This is no spectacle fighter, where you fight waves of enemies all at once, but more of an honorable approach to combat, as even with the waves of enemies that approach you, they will each square off with you one-on-one in a duel to the death. Each duel feels like a threat, and you really need to focus on your moves and how you position yourself, especially in Way of the Samurai 3's instant kill mode, which is self-explanatory, and really encapsulates the danger you'll face as a Ronin. Unfortunately, Way of the Samurai 4 throws away the instant kill mode for a Harikiri mode, which is just a harder difficulty than hard. But I suppose it's not that bad, since that just makes you more focused on the combat. Okay, now let me give some brownie points to Way of the Samurai 4, because I feel like some of you might be thinking it's not that great, but it is a good installment that improves a few things Way of the Samurai 3 did. One of these things is that your fighting style is not tied down to your weapon, so you can use any fighting style you've learned with any weapon you want. This is especially good with the series feature of letting you craft your own weapons by the way of the Dojima brothers, since in the Way of the Samurai 3 you had to give your weapon a style, whilst in Way of the Samurai 4 you're free to use whichever you please. Way of the Samurai 4 also includes guns if that's your thing, and the European influence on the lands and the characters are appealing to the eyes, even if the map feels somewhat smaller than Way of the Samurai 3. Way of the Samurai 4 also has a very unique feature known as night crawling. In Amihama, the replacement of killing key story characters in Way of the Samurai 3 is that you can actually romance story characters and regular characters who will invite you to their place later at night for some intimate time. You'll be given a location to go at night, and when you make it, your mission is to find the bed where your romance partner is in and take her to the hotel to get your reward. Funnily enough, there are some times where some random guy will be there in the house trying to steal your partner away from you. And you also have to be careful of your partner's roommates and family members, who will notify the authorities if they catch you and you'll fail your love conquest. Anybody brave and skilled enough to find their partner and take her to the hotel will have a test of strength, which is your last objective before you can successfully fulfill your quest for love. Why did I bother mentioning this? Because this is necessary to unlock female character models to be playable in Way of the Samurai 4.
Enjoy! Oh! Banzai dive!
Speaking of romance, Way of the Samurai 3 features a companion system where you can obtain a partner to take with you on your adventures, which helps with certain minigames like making rice cakes and sword catching. These partners can also move in with you, which can make an impact on your home and inventory, as some partners steal your money, break your swords, or even help increase your money.
Ah, okaeri. いいかい?
Both games in the series feature minigames as well, and they range from fun to... what? In Way of the Samurai 3, you have bell ringing, tuna cutting, sword catching, and rice ball making, whereas Way of the Samurai 4 has a casino and torture, which happens when you get arrested for doing bad deeds. One last feature I'd love to talk about is Way of the Samurai 4's Proof of Life, which is a feature that has your choices in the game affect your next playthrough. If you kill a lot of people in your previous save, your next playthrough will be filled with more guards, and if you open up the English school, you can understand the foreigners. Another part of this is that your last character from your previous playthrough can show up in your current playthrough as a wandering samurai, who you can kill to obtain their sword. The PlayStation 3 version of the game lets you connect to the PlayStation Network to have other samurai from other people's games, but I've yet to figure out if the PC version contains this feature. All in all, even if the Way of the Samurai series is short, there's plenty of content to keep you satisfied for a good time. Way of the Samurai is an incredible series, and it's such a crime it doesn't get as much recognition as it should. You have the chance to immerse yourself in the world of feudal Japan and live the life a samurai live. In the end, isn't that what we all want? Thank you very much for joining me this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did making it, and I'll see you in the next one. Way of the Samurai series, a good series where your choices actually matter and don't boil down to one multiple choice question to pick your ending, unlike some games. Mass Effect! Oh, before you guys go, I have one more thing to talk about. Actually, there is a secret ending in Way of the Samurai 3 that you can get if you try to kill every NPC in the game. So have fun with that treasure hunt. Peace!